Vexoh says, we shouldn't have even gotten caught in the first place. It was only because of leaked DMs. And then this is just a funny little quip that Robbeezzyy said. What the F did you think was gonna happen? You go to LAN and drop 3 like Wagnificent? He was being dead serious, which makes it so much funnier because this is exactly the example Tanner and I have used many times because Robbeezzyy is exactly correct. What do you expect to happen? We cheat our way to LAN and then you can't cheat anymore and you drop 3 like Wagnificent. We are live, boys and girls, with a special edition Audible episode for you today. Call me Brett Favre.
You gotta let that jingle go a little bit further, man.
You think so?
I think so. Sometimes you do it a lot earlier than other times. That was a real early one. I can know because there's a little countdown. I think you got to start when there are about 4 seconds left. That was more like 8 or 9. A little too long for me.
All right, I'll try and time it out.
Why don't you work on that, buddy? Yeah.
Well, we'll work on that. I was just very excited to get into today's episode. Yeah. So the plan originally was to do a Resurgence POI tier list, akin to the one we have done before for big map Warzone POIs. We did a tier list for all the maps, all the POIs. And it was really fun. Broke it up into a couple episodes, couple hours of content. You guys enjoyed it. We will be doing the same for Resurgence maps. And we were going to start today, but we're not. Because there have been breaking news developments that are more topical, shall we say, and on everyone's mind. And since next episode, we will be talking about likely a blog post for season 5, we wanted to talk about this now because that Resurgence POI tier list ep, that's going to be good to do whenever, basically. Whereas this is a little more, I would say, time sensitive. And it's what everyone's talking about right now. So we've called an audible. And today what we're going to be talking about is, of course, what everyone's talking about who makes content about Call of Duty, which is the World Series of Warzone LAN or LCQ cheating disaster fiasco. Which is, I mean, the least surprising thing ever, kind of. We'll get into it. So before we start, we will have a couple brief announcements at the end. We will get more into details on those at the end of the episode, but basically, as a reminder, we did a banger behind the scenes. If you're a Damascus patron, go listen. And if you're a patron of any stripe, or if you want to become one, you can. And we're doing Rebirth Island customs this month for all of our patrons. So if that sounds fun, you want to play with us, you want to shoot my body, you're shit, so you won't, because you'd have to kill me first. But you could try. If you're a patron and you come to the Rebirth Island customs, we will be doing this month on a date at a time. It's linked in Discord.
Yeah, I think it's the 27th at 5 p.m. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we'll get into that at the end, though. For now, let's get into the episode.
Oh, I'm excited. W cheaters.
W cheaters. This is a big one. So there's a lot that happened, kind of. It's actually not that much that happened, but there's a lot of discourse about what happened. Basically, a team got caught or exposed for cheating in one of the recent last chance qualifiers for the World Series of Warzone. And for those of you who are not super familiar with the format and all of that, this was a match that it's called the last chance qualifier. So this is where there are 40 teams or whatever, and only 4 or 5 of them will make it out of that LCQ. And everyone who doesn't is gone forever. Yeah. They don't get kicked down to another bracket. This is the loser's bracket, basically. So if you get kicked out of this, or if you lose here, or if you don't win here, I should say, or get top 4, then you cannot go to the World Series of Warzone. You're out for the rest of the year. So this is not only an official event that's a big deal, it is the last chance. The
last chance to
straw.
qualify. Yeah. So 4 teams
correct.
made it, and then there was one final match, which was winner take all. Whoever wins is the 5th team to get in. So that's how it worked.
Got it.
And the other 4 teams made it off of just overall performance. You know, whoever had the most points between kills and their, winning and what they ended up ending with.
Yes. So that happened recently, and it was a pretty strange event because there were a lot of favorites or really good teams, historically good players of teams of whom, and a lot of them did not qualify. And it seemed like even for some of these teams, these very good teams, which we'll get into, it almost seemed like they were being targeted by a certain team. And guess what? That team was cheating.
Oh,
so
no.
That is the gist of what we're going to talk about today. So we've got a bunch of information that we've written down here in the form of screenshots, quotes from videos, and tweets, basically. And we have tried to put them in a coherent order to give you guys a rough timeline of what happened and more information on what happened, and then just what the discourse is from everyone surrounding this event. Now, before we get into that, I would like to say, as I always do and will forever, and you can stay mad, we called it. Right? Once again, for the, 90th time probably, we predicted something would happen, and then it happened in Call of Duty. And we did it again.
Really?
Now, let me be clear. We deserve almost no credit for that.
I don't even know why you brought it up.
Of course there were going to be cheaters before LAN. Of course there were going to be. Duh. Because this game does not have a kernel level anti-cheat. I don't know what Ricochet is, but it's not a kernel level anti-cheat. Valorant has a kernel level anti-cheat. This game does not, obviously. So of course there were going to be cheaters who were going to ruin legitimate teams' opportunity to compete fairly or even go to LAN, which is what has happened here in a pretty big way, by the way. And I just want it to be on record. We told you so. Now, most people also probably feel the same way. Of course, there were going to be cheaters. The contention might be, though, how much would cheaters affect the tournament, affect the landscape? And I think what we're going to talk about here today might surprise people, because a lot of people may have agreed prior to this event that there were going to be cheaters participating or trying to qualify for World Series of Warzone. Those people might not have expected that the cheaters who did in fact participate would have such an outsized effect on the tournament, in that they were knocking out really, really good teams. That's, I think, the more interesting, more important thing that fewer people may have thought might have happened, if that makes sense. So with all that said, let's get into it. Again, we've done our best to kind of put this in a coherent order. We might jump around a little bit, but bear with us. We're going to try and give you as much info as we can and talk about it.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot.
It started off with a tweet from Icy Scopes on July 11th, 2 days ago.
Yeah, this was probably only 2
Thursday.
hours after the tournament ended, maybe? Something like
Okay.
that, yeah.
So right after the tournament ended, some guy, I don't know who this is. He's probably
I recognize the
a
name. I
competitor.
don't know either, but yeah.
Yeah. And he said, just know that I know that Joe Gang, Vexoh, and Ave are all cheating. That's what this person said.
Yeah.
And then Omit Braxton. That name sounds familiar.
Yes. Yeah.
Replied to this tweet.
and A on
said,
top. That's him.
Oh, okay. Then this guy's a god and a king. Is he still in the tournament?
Yeah, he made it. They're always in like the top 5 in the scrims. They won't beat Biffle, Shifty, and Soka,
well,
but
no one will, of course.
They'll
but
probably get top
Americans.
3, top 5 at LAN. Yeah.
Yeah. NA's still on top though. Yeah. Braxton is correct. So this guy's based. Who are his teammates, by the way?
You wouldn't know them. Juju is one of them. I'm trying to think who his
Juju
other
on the
teammate.
beat.
Juju Saiyan or something, and then who's his other teammate? I don't remember. I can't think of who it is. Well, like Wager Kids, they've been doing Wager stuff for a long time. But anyways,
cool. Yeah. Well, NA is on top, and EU sucks at Warzone.
Yeah. Okay.
So he said Joe Gang didn't even play with them. Stop being bitter. I don't know who Joe Gang is, but again, Icy Scopes accused Joe Gang, Vexoh, and Ave of cheating. Now, keep in mind, those 3 players are not on the same team. So
Vexoh and Ave were.
Yes, which is what I said. Yeah. Joe Gang was on a different team, though. He's not. That's not the trio. So then Icy replied to that and said, "I'm calling out players, not teams," which is an interesting caveat that's going to become relevant. Because you'll notice Vexoh and Ave are on the same team, but it's a game of trios. Who's their third teammate? Robbeezzyy. We'll get into it. So he said, I'm calling out players, not teams. I'm looking at screenshots from US unknown and where Vexoh is even saying it. I don't know what that sentence
I don't
meant.
know what the US unknown part means. I don't know if it's some
Discord
private Discord
something.
server or something. I don't really know. Yeah.
So, So Vexoh, Ave, and Joe Gang were a team before all the cheating, and they dropped a cheater? ? Asks Braxton. Icy replies, apparently from screenshots, they dropped him because even with cheats, he was ass, referring to Joe Gang. Okay, according to the screenshots, Icy Scopes clarifies. And then Braxton says, post the screenshots or it's invalid.
Yeah.
And then Icy Scopes said, bet. And posted screenshots.
Yeah, so these screenshots were posted by a different guy. This is when, so Braxton was the one that made this blow up. So this was just on some tweet that didn't get a ton of traction, and Braxton was replying to it. And Braxton was the first person to see this screenshot and retweet it, and that's when it started blowing up. So the screenshot is basically, there's no point in reading all of it, but it's a Discord conversation with Vexoh, some guy whose name is crossed out, and some guy named Snowfield. I don't know. But basically what they were talking about is their soft aim settings that they were using. So they were talking about like, I've been using 3. It's the most legit and strong as possible, saying like they're getting soft aim lock at that number, but it still looks somewhat legit because aim assist is cheating. We'll get into it. And so then they're talking about like the smoothness and the stickiness, blah, blah. So yeah, they're yapping about that. But yeah, and then basically they're talking about like, we don't need big games. We just need like a 20-point game and we're in. And then Vexoh's like, I'm low-key excited, which is a childish thing to say, by the way. I'm low-key excited. Yeah, you're excited to maybe go to $1 million tournament while cheating. Okay. But anyways, that's what the main tweet was about with them, or this main screenshot was them just yapping about their soft aim settings. And so, yeah, Braxton retweeted this, and it started to blow up. Yeah, this is where it really blew up.
So, yeah, and to be clear, this screenshot of this group DM in Discord between Vexoh, a redacted person's name, Snowfield, and Jug, all of those people are cheating. All of those people cheat. They are all discussing what settings to use on their cheats, which ones are too blatant, which ones are passable and good enough, whatever. So we're not going to read the whole thing, but basically everyone there cheats. Vexoh, Snowfield, and Jug. You're not in that group DM talking like this if you're not cheating. So yeah, just to be clear. And that was the screenshot that was retweeted, as Tanner just said. So Vexoh has 2 teammates. Vexoh is the one talking the most about cheating in this group DM. And he was one of the people mentioned by Icy in the original tweet. Vexoh has 2 teammates. One of them is Ave, who is also cheating, I think. I don't know if there's been official confirmation, but I would be very unsurprised if he was.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be very unsurprised if he was. And another one of his teammates is named Robbeezzyy. That name sounds familiar, and I don't think he is actually a cheater. Correct. And I don't think he knew about the shenanigans Vexoh was doing, but he was their teammate, and that sucks for him.
Yeah.
So in light of this news, when this was all hitting the TL, Robbeezzyy, who is a legitimate player, that seems to be the consensus. I'm not going to personally vouch for the guy, but based on everything I've seen and that we're going to talk about, I would venture to say he is not cheating. He sees all this about his teammates and he starts freaking out, rightfully so. So he DMs and starts a Discord call with Vexoh. Robbeezzyy starts a call with Vexoh, and he records it and later posted it for posterity's sake. ZLaner on his YouTube channel posted a video that contains the video of the call from Robbeezzyy. So first it starts with Robbeezzyy DMing Vexoh and saying, yo, where are your VODs? Your Twitch VODs? Because by this time, Vexoh had deleted all of the VODs off of his Twitch because he didn't want people scrubbing through his gameplay to look for clips of him obviously cheating. It's obviously far too late already. He might as well not have even done that, but that's what happened. All it ended up doing is just making him look more guilty, of course. So Robbeezzy's like, where are your VODs? And then Vexoh replies, I did that shit. Delete your tweets. I'm confirming it on Twitter. Meaning he's confirming that he is in fact cheating. I don't know what Robbeezzyy had tweeted that Vexoh wanted him to delete. He probably was trying to defend his friend because he didn't believe it at first, which I think is a fair thing to do.
I don't know what the original tweets were either. I never saw them. I don't know if they're still up.
Yeah, I don't either. But if I had a teammate that I didn't think was cheating that started getting accused, I would, especially if they're like my friend, which, if you're like on a team with someone, you very well might be. I might reflexively defend them like Insta. And then if I look like an idiot because he was actually cheating, then so be it. So I don't blame Robbeezzyy if that's what happened, but I don't know, and it's not really relevant. So anyway, then after that, so that's a little screenshot. Robbeezzyy starts a call. It's a 4-minute call. Again, ZLaner posted a video of the call. You can go to his YouTube if you want to watch it. I watched the call, and it's Robbeezzyy and Vexoh talking to each other in Discord. I listened to the whole call, and here are some choice quotes and information from that call. Robbeezzyy asks him, so he's already admitted it before the call starts, by the way. So going into the call, Vexoh was cheating. He admitted it. Robbeezzy's pissed because now he's out anyway, but now he looks really bad. Because you're going to look more sus if your teammates. And
the thing with Robbeezzyy, by the way, is he has something going for him. I believe he has 200,000 subs on YouTube. He's not just he's not just some 16-year-old wager kid. He's built up an audience and he makes YouTube videos and he has a big following too. So this kid Vexoh is just another random known kid. By the way, let me get out of the way right now and tell you, Vexoh had 200 followers on Twitter and he's 20 years old and he has an anime profile picture. Let's be super clear. 100% of the time is a kid on Twitter between the ages of 16 and 20 with an anime profile picture and plays in the wager scene on Call of Duty. They are cheating 100% of the time. Just want to make that super clear. 100% of the time. They have nothing to lose. They don't even have a minimum wage job. They're trying to make money doing this. They are always cheating, and they hide their identity, basically, and never try not to show their face, essentially. They're always cheating.
And the reason they do that, Tanner mentioned in Discord, which I'll just say now, is that when you are some anon shitbird like this kid is, no one knows who you are. You have no presence, and you feel like you have nothing to lose, which is wrong because people would find out if you got big on another account eventually. But they feel like they have nothing to lose, so they cheat, and then they're like, "Oh well, I got caught." And then in 6 months, when BO6 drops, Vexoh is going to be named Hawksev, and he's going to have a different anime profile picture.
Yep.
And he's going to be on a new Activision account. He will be cheating again, trying to qualify for World Series of Warzone. Yeah. And no one will know who he is because no one is going to recognize his voice or anything. He's going to find new teammates. And then if he does succeed at cheating and not getting caught, he will eventually get, if he gets everything he wants, then he'll get caught, because then he'll be popular. If he won the World Series of Warzone on the alt account he plans on making, guess what? He's going to be under a lot more scrutiny. People are going to figure out, hey, aren't you Vexoh, the guy who was cheating last year?
Yeah.
So they're stupid children, like Tanner was saying. So Mitch with the Canadian $7 super chat, by the way. Thanks, buddy. Keep on slaying boys. I appreciate it, Mitch. Thank you very much, Pollock, man. WU and W super chats. Thanks. My deductible has gone down now.
Nice,
That's good.
man.
Appreciate it. All right, so back to the call. So yeah, Robbeezzyy and Vexoh go into the call, and Vexoh's just admitted that he is cheating or was cheating. So Robbeezzy's pissed. So Robbeezzy's flaming him, and then he asks, like, you know, how long have you been yakking? I guess that's the slang term the kids are using now for cheating.
Yacked up. They use that. Yeah.
I've never, yacked up. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
But Vexoh says he has been cheating since early February.
So it's since 2022. Okay.
Well, yeah. So, okay. If we take him at his word, he's been cheating for the entire qualification process of World Series of Warzone.
That's what was funny.
In every single match.
Is he cheated originally and also didn't make it, and then they cheated this time around and still didn't make it while cheating, which is crazy to me.
So, yeah, by the way, this team does not end up even qualifying. They cheat their butts off in the LCQ, ruin it for a bunch of other teams, and all of it was for naught because they don't qualify anyway. So they just dumped on the best legit teams, ruined their chances, and then didn't even make it themselves because they're bad and not good. So that's another kind of silver lining, sort of. But anyways, he's been cheating for the entire tournament, the entire process of World Series of Warzone since early February. If we take him at his word, if he's lying about that, he's just been cheating since even before that, which is likely, but immaterial, because again, for the entire official tournament, every event, there's been this team cheating who have not been caught. And they wouldn't have gotten caught were it not for social engineering leaked DMs. The anti-cheat never caught them. Yep. No one ever looked at their clips and thought it looked sus.
Which is crazy.
A lot of these things look like aim assist, which we'll also get into. But it was because of just leaked DMs, basically. So they had been cheating since early February. They would have continued to cheat if they had qualified up to and including LAN. Or not including LAN. Up to getting to LAN. Which is insane, because there isn't a good anti-cheat. But we'll talk about that more at the end. So he's been cheating since early February, the entire event. Cool. He keeps getting flamed. And then Vexoh says, we shouldn't have even gotten caught in the first place. It was only because of leaked DMs, basically. And then this is just a funny little quip that Robbeezzyy said. And Robbeezzyy isn't joking when he says this. He's furious. He's literally screaming. And he screams, what the F did you think was gonna happen? You go to LAN and drop 3 like Wagnificent? He said that, and he wasn't like trying to be funny. He was being dead serious, which makes it so much funnier, because this is exactly the example Tanner and I have used many times about these dumb children cheating and how they lack foresight. Because Robbeezzyy is exactly correct. This is why we always say it. He's exactly right. What do you expect to happen? We cheat our way to LAN, and then you can't cheat anymore, and you drop 3 like Wagnificent. And then you don't win anyway, and then you probably get exposed like Wagnificent did. Because it was very weird.
Well, he got exposed for being bad.
15 kills a game. Yeah, that's true. But it was also very weird that he was dropping 15 kills a game, and then all of a sudden he's on LAN, and he maxes at 3 kills for all of his matches. It's insane. So that was just funny. But anyways. Another thing Vexoh said, another choice quote, which this one I want to talk about a little bit. Vexoh says this: if you think we're the only team doing that, cheating, be for real. That's one of the things he says to Robbeezzyy. Robbeezzyy loses his mind in response. Now, I'm of two minds about this quote. On the one hand, kill yourself.
Got it.
This is not a justification for you to cheat because everyone else is doing it. We've heard this many times from many cheaters. subs and on
hold on.
for
Hello? Can you hear?
tournaments and for money.
Can you hear me?
What?
Discord like restarted real quick. Okay, we're good to go though. So you cut
We're
out
good?
for like 5
Do I need
seconds
to turn
probably.
my cam back on?
No, you're good.
Okay, because it's okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Again, I'm of two minds on this. On the one hand, yeah, we've heard this so many times, and it's just a toxic, stupid mindset. Like, oh, if other teams are cheating, we might as well also cheat to level the playing field. That's not. I mean, there are a lot of problems with that. One of which is you will probably eventually get caught, which you did. So you played yourself. But also, I mean, just have a modicum of integrity. But on the other hand, bro is certainly not wrong. If you think we're the only team doing that, be for real. I mean, he's right. They are not the only team doing that. There are teams right now that are going to qualify for LAN that have a cheater on them, at least.
100%. Yeah, there will be
almost guarantee it.
There will be some player, minimum of one, at the World Series of Warzone who cheats at home and nobody knows, and they won't even know during World Series of Warzone. They'll just have a average performance, which won't be good because most of these teams are going to do terrible against the top teams. So they're not going to do good anyways, and it's going to be expected. And nobody's going to think anything of it. But 100% there will be probably a handful of people at LAN that either do currently cheat at home while playing or have cheated in Warzone before. Yeah, 100%. Without a doubt. Also, something else, in the leaked DMs, they also said, but if I can watch Otter blatantly wall his way to finals, damn straight we can too. So Otter that's Otter Eyes. And he's a pretty big name in the competitive scene, and I wonder if he actually cheats. Maybe that's been discussed before, but I noticed that when we were just talking about this right now. I didn't know that was a thing, because Otter Eyes is like one of the top competitive players. He was really popular, especially in... he had a pretty big name in Caldera. And, I mean, he was in World Series of Warzone LAN last year. I'm pretty sure his team placed top 10, maybe.
Oh, interesting.
In that. So I wonder if that's if people actually think he cheats, too. Interesting.
One of the things about cheaters, or really anything, is that if you cheat, you kind of see cheating everywhere because you know it's possible because you do it yourself. It's kind of like if you ever got a new car.
Yeah.
Like a Civic. Well, Civic's a bad example because everyone drives a Civic. If you got like a Century, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, there are a lot of Centuries on the road. That's weird. It's like everyone bought a Century at the same.
Is that a car?
Isn't there a car?
I don't think so. I don't know. Not that I know. There's a Sentra. I don't know if they make those anymore. But there's a Nissan
what I said,
Sentra.
A Sentra, yeah. So you buy a Sentra, and then all of a sudden you're seeing a bunch of Sentras on the road, and you're like, man, did everyone buy a Sentra like right when I did?
Bro's thinking Sentry turret. No. Bro has COD brain, the Sentry turret.
That'd be a sick car.
That would be, man. Little Nissan Sentra with a mounted Sentry turret. Anyways. Yeah, that is true. They think they're seeing
like
things.
You just start seeing them everywhere, and it's like it's not that everyone suddenly bought a Sentra with a 50 cal mounted on it like you did. It's just that now that you are like paying attention to one or thinking about one particular thing, you're seeing it like everywhere. That very well may be what's going on here. Like someone else who's legit is doing well, and he's like, oh, that guy's walling. It's like, well, I mean. Maybe. I don't know who Otter Eyes is at all, but maybe not. And it's not like he's been implicated in any other way other than some kid saying he thinks he walls, basically. So I don't know. But anyways. But yeah, if you think we're the only team doing that, be for real. I mean, he is correct on that also. And again, that's not a justification for you to cheat. Because, again, best case scenario, you make it to LAN, then you're not going to be able to cheat and you're not going to win anyway. So you're just knocking out another legit team. You're taking their spot, even though you're guaranteed to lose because you're not going to have your cheats with you at LAN. So it's just dumb to do. But he isn't wrong. I mean, there are other cheaters. There are going to be other cheaters making it to LAN who don't get caught. And the evidence for that is that he's been cheating for the entire tournament since early February and had not gotten caught until someone exposed him because he was dumb enough to be DMing people and leave evidence all around the internet about it.
Yeah.
The game didn't catch him. A game dev didn't manually review him. Ricochet didn't catch him. Nothing happened that would have led to him being caught other than leaked DMs. So like, he's of course correct. There are other teams cheating and they are continuing to not be caught, just like I would not have gotten caught if someone hadn't told on me, basically. I mean, he's right, but again, that's not a justification, but it is just, it's an indictment of Call of Duty and Activision for how bad this situation is. And we'll talk more about that. So.
It really makes you, it's really like an eye-opener to the fact that this guy is playing against the best players in the world cheating, and nobody thought anything about it. Nobody. And nobody had a hunch they were cheating, supposedly. I mean, maybe, but it's not like a known thing like, oh, everyone thinks these guys are hacking. Can you just imagine how many people are cheating in every single match of Warzone you play in that you will never know about, that you could report 1,000 times and that person not get banned? It is wild to know that somebody is cheating against the best in the world and they don't even get caught. Or banned, of course, because Ricochet doesn't really work. That is just like, it's outrageous. Because we've been talking a lot about cheaters lately in the Discord, and it's really, really bad in my opinion right now. Every time you play, you run into them, and it's like, this just proves it. When there's a cheater going up against the best in the world, nobody bats an eye.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So we'll kind of touch more on that later. But and then the last choice quote, I kind of already talked about this, but he said, Vexoh says, "It only happened because I only got exposed or caught because of DMs. You couldn't tell just from my gameplay or looking at my clips."
Yeah, I wonder why.
And again,
just kidding.
He's correct about that.
Yeah.
I'm not, and you know, I know you guys hate to talk about it, but we're going to at the end. He's right. And yeah, we'll talk more about that at the end, but you wouldn't be able to tell just from watching gameplay or clips because he was using soft aim, but he's on controller. So anyway, we'll talk more about that. So moving on from that, Vexoh then made a tweet, like soon after this call, or during the call even. And here's what Vexoh said. Vexoh has since deleted his Twitter account, so you can't find his tweets anymore unless you have screenshots. He said, "Yeah, I did that shit. No way of fighting against it. Just got greedy. Not that it's an excuse, but if you really believe me, Chef, and Onoi are the only people that did it, you're just blatantly wrong. I'll put it to you like this. I'm decent at hiding it. Not everyone is a dumb blank like Chef." So this has me a little confused because these are not his teammates as far as I know, unless they're aliases. Okay, who is Chef?
Chef Gapparoni, who we already talked about, the guy whose whose aim assist aimbot was going crazy. He had the clip. He's like, my aim assist is putting in work today.
Yeah, that guy got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then who's Onoi?
No idea at all. Not the.
Okay.
Maybe this guy, maybe the guy Av, I don't know. Because I also don't know in the screenshot. That's the other thing. These stupid kids use a different weird name everywhere, and then their friends call them a different weird name. So I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Make a name and use it.
Yeah. So anyway, he admitted it on Twitter. So he admitted it privately. He admitted it publicly, and he has since deleted all of his social media stuff. So
Onoi got banned from the first stage, I think.
Okay. Oh, okay. So another guy that got caught cheating. So yeah. Now the one thing I respect about this is just admitting it and not being mealy mouthed little toad about it. Because we've seen people get caught cheating before, dead to rights, and 9 times out of 10, they will be like, "I'm so sorry. I swear it was my first time. I just wanted to see what it was like. I didn't plan on continuing to cheat. This was going to be literally the only match ever where I cheat.
Yeah.
And I'm not a cheater, and I want to prove to you guys that I'm legit and I'll never do it again or something. They always say that, and it's always a lie. It's always fake. It's not your first time. If you would be profoundly unlucky for you to cheat and then get caught the very first time you do it, and you're lying. Even if that were true, you would be lying to say you didn't plan on continuing to cheat had you not been caught. That is what they always say. And at least this guy is like, you know what? Nah, I've been cheating for months. I was going to keep cheating. Other people were also cheating, but I have no excuse. You know what? Thank you. At least for being honest once you've been caught.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Doesn't, absolve you, obviously, but, I appreciated the honesty and the taking responsibility. It's over. The jig is up. And no matter what you say at this point, you're screwed anyway. That's another thing. So you might as well just full-throatedly just admit it, which he did. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he admitted it. So
yeah.
So
he
yeah.
Sure did. And then since then, he's of course deactivated everything,
Yep.
deleted all VODs, everything.
Yeah. So as I said, or as we said, despite cheating at the LCQ, Vexoh and his team did not even get past LCQ. They are out of the tournament. They didn't get banned from the tournament for cheating. They did not get their accounts banned at all, as far as we know. Activision has made no statement at all about this event. So if they had qualified, who knows if they would still be in the tournament? I actually don't know. But despite cheating, they didn't qualify anyway. So a ban isn't like strictly necessary, at least from the World Series of Warzone side, but definitely ban his Activision account, right? Like IP ban the guy.
They possibly have. They probably have by now.
Well, they didn't say anything about it, so I genuinely don't know if I believe that, but maybe they did. But regardless, despite all the cheating, they didn't even qualify anyway. But you know what they did do is dump all over a bunch of other probably legit teams and ruin their chance of qualifying. And some of these teams probably actually would have qualified were it not for Vexoh ruining it for them.
Literally. Yeah. One team in particular. Yep.
Yeah. So JGod made a tweet to this effect. Why don't you tell us about this one? Because I'm a little shaky here.
Yeah, so JGod did a little tweet. He said, unfortunate, 2 players decided to ruin so many players' last chance at making it to the World Series of Warzone LAN, including their teammate. Clearly ramped it up in the 5th game. Here are the matches and kills by the team and how far into the match the kill happened. So he made a great little spreadsheet here, and it shows us the kills that Vexoh, the cheating team, had on other teams, other players, and how many players were left. So match 1, Vexoh and his cheating team, they got 5 total kills. Didn't really have much going on. Match 2, they got more than 5 kills. I can't count it. It looks like they had 11 or something like that. So
10.
Okay, so 10. So they got some more kills on some people. So starting in match 3, it kind of seems like maybe they were trying to target another team because they changed up their landing spot, I guess. And the first 3 deaths of that round were on Noobs, Almond, and Skullface, who was pretty much projected to be certainly in the LAN Grand Final. I mean, this was a team that was probably slated to be like top 5 at LAN, and they did not make it. So they land on them immediately, wipe all 3 of them in match 3, a huge match for them. And that pretty much killed everything for Noobs, Almond, and Skullface. So yeah, they get some other kills that match.
That is so that Vexoh can qualify instead of their biggest competition, which is Noobs, Almond, and Skullface.
Because if you're cheating, yeah, it's kind of, yeah. If you are cheating, you would think, you know, I can win these gunfights because my cheats work a little bit better than how these guys can aim. So let's land on them, take them out, so we can get that spot that they're certainly going to get, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So yeah, that happened. Then in match 4, again, they killed some people. They killed Almond. And then in match 5, They went crazy. They were because they knew. So they got 5th place, by the way. The cheating team got 5th. It was top 4 that made it. So they lost by like 2 points. So they knew going into this last match probably that they were like, we have to go crazy. We have a chance at this. We're doing all right. Let's get in there. So, so immediately off rip again. Basically, some of the first kills of the match, the cheating team kills Almond, Noobs, and Skullface in match 5. When they had already gotten wiped by the cheaters in match 3, so they needed a huge last game, and the cheaters immediately wiped them all. You're not going to have a great start.
116 players left, so
and then having to win,
they were the second team to get wiped.
Yeah, and then having to win gulags, land back, regain in a match full of 116 whatever other of the best players in the world, trying to do that, having to win your gulag against these people too. Yeah, hard to do. So they went crazy last match. They got a number of kills. I don't even know, 5, 10. They probably got 20 team kills the last match.
It's about
18, 20. Yeah, so they went crazy.
Yeah. They turned it up, like actually.
They just actually started going bonkers. So yeah. So it seemed kind of like they were targeting Almond and Noobs and Skullface, because Skullface was the solo winner last year of the World Series of Warzone. He's won the World Series of Warzone normal tournament before as well. And I mean, he's like always been known as probably a top 5 Warzone player by himself. And they did not make the tournament. They ended up getting like 19th place or something like that, 16th place. But the difference between like 4th place and like 16th place was like 20 points. It wasn't anything super drastic, because this isn't EU. This is NA, where the teams are good.
Where it's competitive.
Where in EU, that gap would be like 16th place would have 3 points.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Raz would solo queue and get 4 points. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
So.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they ruined their chances. And it's the really unfortunate thing, as we said, is that they did not even make the tournament. So they killed the tournament for everybody that played in it. And then they did not make it themselves. So Noobs, who was on the receiving end of getting destroyed by the cheaters and landed on, he says, if this comes out to be true, they won't even replay it. They'll be DQ'd, which is dumb. Of course, yeah, they would say maybe that they're disqualified, but it doesn't matter because they didn't make it anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's insane. And by the way, it was not replayed.
No.
Which I actually kind of want to. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We will talk. There's a tweet at the end once we talk about everything else. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, now we're gonna talk. So basically, yeah, as Tanner put it, this team cheating like actually ruined another team that was almost certainly going to succeed at this event. They targeted them so hard. For 3 out of 5 games, they landed directly on them first, and wiped them, so that they could try to knock them out, so they would have a better chance at qualifying.
Yeah, I guess it was 2 actually, but still 2 matches when they were only 5.
2, yeah. But they did land on Almond in match 4 with 100 players left. That's pretty early, but yeah, maybe we could just say 2, sure. But still,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Still a huge deal either way, 2 or 3 out of 5 matches. That's a big impediment, and it worked. And to be clear, if you're cheating, this is the strat. I would do that. Like, okay, I need to be top 4. Where's the best team? If I'm cheating, I'm just going to land on them because I know where they are, and I'm going to not miss a bullet because I'm cheating and walling, and then I'm just going to take them out, and now it makes it way easier for me to qualify. So, like, it's a smart thing to do. It makes perfect sense if you're cheating. And that's what they did, and their plan partially worked. They did eliminate the team they were targeting, but it didn't work because they didn't qualify themselves because they're not good. So yeah, terrible. And then there was a lot of discourse on the TL about it, which we're going to talk about now. So Noobs, which was the team that got, or on the team that got targeted and effectively cheated out of the tournament, out of the LAN. If this comes out to be true, they won't even replay it. They'll be disqualified, which is dumb. It didn't even come to that because there's no need to disqualify them if they don't qualify themselves. But they didn't replay it. And we'll talk more about whether they should have or not. So FIFA also said a team in the LCQ got caught cheating. One of them almost top fragged. They also contested Almond, Ed, and Skullface off rip 3 games. This is so unfair. Who knows how the outcome changes without them? We don't. Good point. And who knows who else is cheating in these? Also a good point. What a shame. Tommy said, if all this cheating stuff is true, which it is, it means nothing. There's no chance they rerun the LCQ, even though the team in question had 52 kills.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. This will just be the start of it too. There will be more. We always knew this would happen. It sucks either way though. So this is an interesting tweet. I want to talk about it a little bit. I agree with virtually everything that's said here. We always knew this would happen and it sucks either way. True. The one thing I'm not sure about, Tommy said, this will just be the start of it too. There will be more. Now, does he mean there will be more cheaters? If so, I agree. Does he mean more cheaters will be exposed before LAN comes around? I'm not sure.
I don't think that's what he means. I think he just means there will always be more cheaters that are ruining a big tournament like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
I don't think more cheaters will get exposed. I hope they do, because it makes Activision look as silly as they in fact are and deserve to look. But will they actually be caught? I don't think so, because again, think of how Vexoh, this team we're talking about, got caught. It wasn't because there was a suspicious VOD. Now, some people who were being obvious and cheating have been banned already, such as Chef Gapparoni and Oh Noi. But like Vexoh said in his tweet where he admitted it, those people are retarded. So like all the obvious dumb cheaters, they've already been filtered out by now. They would have been exposed by now, and they have. Everyone else who's cheating isn't a complete dumbass, and they're going to be pretty effective at hiding it, just like Vexoh was. And that's why Vexoh never got caught, because of a suspicious gameplay clip or a suspicious, statistical anomaly or anything. He got caught only because someone tattletaled on him. So are there other teams cheating? Yeah, for sure. Will they be caught? I don't think so, because no one's going to get caught off a suspicious gameplay clip anymore unless they get really desperate. Because if they were going to get caught off a suspicious clip, they would have to be stupid and they would have already been caught by now. So I don't think that's going to happen. And then the only other way they could possibly be caught is if more DMs basically get leaked or exposed. And I don't see that being very likely either, because that's mostly not how people get caught cheating. Most of the time, it's a suspicious clip. It's not very often that you see Discord logs of someone admitting to cheating. That just doesn't happen very often. And I don't think it's going to happen again. Frankly, I don't think any other cheaters will get exposed this year. And again, I hope they do, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, there's one I've seen called out now. It's actually the only girl that made the tournament. T, I think she's an Omid also, no. TJ or something. I don't know. And there was a clip that this guy posted in January, and it was a clip from Cold War multiplayer where I didn't watch it with audio, but basically it's like a 2-minute video of them going through her little clip. And they're like, there's no way she's not obviously walling here. She knows exactly where this person's going to rotate without hearing anything. She knows where to look exactly. There's no intel on any of this. And this was posted in January and again happened in Cold War. And then this guy just retweeted it again. And he was qualified for World Series of Warzone, by the way. And this guy is, I believe, a wager player because he's followed by a bunch of really good players. Scummin follows him, Shifty, Soka. So people obviously know this guy. So he's in the scene, and apparently he thinks she walls. So I don't know. Maybe that'd be something to look out for, but I don't really know too much one way or the other. But Lag even said, yeah, ever since she came up, there's been a lot of sus videos, and when she was asked to monitor cam, she plays a lot different. But I don't know.
That's
Lag's also wrong.
Lag is a cheater Kondrack. Yeah.
Lag is Call of Shame.
Yeah, he's bad boy Lag. We will keep an eye on that young lady, or at least the discourse around her. I don't know her at all. I've never heard of her until right now. Yeah, that's where
I'm at. I have
never. Yeah, I've never seen any clips. I don't know. I will say this: And we said it when we talked about Nadia. Everyone said Nadia cheats also, and it's because she's a girl who's good at Warzone. And to my knowledge, and I will stake my reputation on it, I don't think Nadia ever cheated. All of her clips were very easily explainable. I don't think she was ever cheating. I think the reason everyone said she was cheating is unironically misogyny.
Yeah,
actually,
I always thought
it's
that
like
too.
17-year-old boys getting gapped by a girl, and they can't handle it, so they say she's cheating.
Yeah.
Plus, she's pretty toxic, which makes people way more.
Yes, she is
displeased.
very toxic.
Yeah, if you're 17 and you have fragile masculinity already, and then some girl fucking 360 dumps you and then shoots your body and talks shit about you on her live stream, you're probably gonna just call her a cheater to cope.
Exactly.
So, to be fair, on this other girl that we're talking, what's her name?
Like TJ or I don't know, T something.
Yeah, whatever. We'll call her TJ. I don't know what her name actually is. That very well could be what's going on there. Or she could be cheating. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. But if she is cheating, it's probably a lot more scrutiny on anyone who is suspect right now. She'll probably get exposed. So if that does come to light, we will, of course, keep you guys updated. But anyways, just thought we would mention that. So moving on from that, Braxton said, Vexoh's VODs are completely gone, even from the extension. I don't know what that means.
So
and then he says movie.
There's some sort of, I guess, Chrome extension or something you can get to pull up a previous page. So it's like there's a way you can pull VODs from someone's Twitch channel that have been deleted. And actually, after he tweeted this, they did end up pulling VODs. I didn't really go through them. They weren't really making the rounds because he said it. Yeah, so there's no point. They're not that interesting. And then Sage says the thing is they didn't even qual either, so there's not much to do about them. They basically just ruined teams' chances to not even qual. Yeah, because if they had qualified, even then they wouldn't have replayed it, but they would have just disqualified them, and the team that got 5th place would have been instead they would have gotten 4th place, and they would have been in the tournament.
That's what they would have done for sure. Yeah.
And then Isaac pointed out Vexoh is number 2 for individual kills, and they were number 2 for team kills in the entire LCQ. Yeah. So yeah, like he says, unimaginable impact on today's tournament. That impacts everything. Even if they're not directly killing Almond, Noobs, Skullface, for example, they might be killing people around them that Almond, Noobs, and Skullface would otherwise be getting those kills, or Almond, Noobs, and Skullface would have been winning that original gunfight when they fought them off drop instead of every single one of them dying to these guys. So, it just changes everything. Yeah. If these guys are not cheating in the tournament, the top 4 could have easily been a completely different 4 teams entirely because of the way everything would change. So pretty crazy stuff. And then so let's kind of get into that discussion then on replaying it. I think it's a pretty simple answer, but we'll talk about it. So Ebates said, after sitting on it and thinking about the whole situation, I think NA LCQ should get replayed. Probably won't happen, but genuinely mind blown. We let 2 hackers fry out a lobby, other team and ruin other teams' opportunities. Pretty disappointed these past 24 hours, I can't lie. It's a lose-lose situation. Those that qualified get screwed over, but those that didn't qual also got screwed over. The hackers had 52 kills, and 2 of them were on the top 4 teams. That's it. Meanwhile, I don't know what this even says. Almond's team died to them over 20 times. I don't know what that even means. But anyways, so let's be super clear. It shouldn't be replayed, and they can't replay it, of course. They're not going to, and there's just no way around this. There's no way that this situation can be turned around. There's just nothing they can do. Because, if you, in a game like Warzone, if you replay that entire match, there will be a totally 4 different teams that make it. It'll be entirely different. Everything changes in a Battle Royale game. If this was like straight up multiplayer, like a CDL match, they could replay it and the better team's probably going to win again. But you can't do that in an RNG game like Warzone. One team gets a bad start, their usual Dropshot doesn't have as much loot as they have, and the building over from them has all the rare chests, and that team then kills them, that changes your entire tournament right there from one match, from one
yeah.
death. So obviously there's no way they can replay it. Frankly, I think it's a little insane that Ebates had this opinion that it should get replayed, because that's not fair at all to the top 4 teams that made it. There's such a low chance that all 4 of those teams would make it again a second time. I mean, it's nearly impossible. I really don't think any of those same 4 teams would make it, probably. That's just the nature of Warzone.
Yeah, not to mention the logistical nightmare that would be. Like, okay, guys, I know that you had planned out this time slot to play the tournament. I know you ate your food, took your medicine, asked for the day off work. I'm serious, like whatever. Like,
they don't take medicine.
Time.
They're all 19. They don't have jobs, so that's not a worry.
Well, by medicine, I mean illegal Adderall. But still, they plan their whole, whatever day around it. And it's like, all right, well, you guys have to be available now, like what, tomorrow afternoon? Like, what if they had to do something, go to work, or I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right. They don't have to go to work, but visit their whatever. Jobs, yeah. I don't know. Logistically, that's like a lot of people to like just corral on a dime at the drop of a hat. But that more importantly is what you said. You can't replay because one team was cheating a BR. You can't do it. It's like you said, it's wildly unfair to the teams that did qualify. Like they were super plugged in, they did really well, they're locked in, and then because some other team was cheating, they have to re-qualify now, and then what if they don't? Like, that's really unfair to them. The odds that all 4 teams the same 4 would qualify is very low. I think maybe 2 of them would likely re-qualify potentially, but that also depends on how impactful the cheaters were on the scene or on the match. It is really hard to say, but you can't replay it. Yeah, you just can't. And it is like, to Ebates' credit, it is a lose-lose situation.
Oh,
which
yeah,
is what he says.
It's really bad. Yeah, there's nothing they can do.
Like, if you don't replay it, it's super unfair to like Noobs and Almond's team, for example, or another team that randomly got wiped by cheaters. It is unfair to them to not replay it, but it's unfair to the people who did well to replay it. So what do? You just err on the side of not replaying it, I think. Yeah. And then if they had qualified, like you said, you just take them out, obviously, and then whoever was 5th place, you qualify them retroactively.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Yeah, for all the reasons you mentioned.
It's just more like not even the logistical part, like you were saying. It's like you can't end a match and 4 teams think they're going to win, and then later it comes out that one of the teams was cheating, and then the next day Activision is like, yeah, we're going to have to replay it. Like that team, those 4 teams already thought they were guaranteed a spot. Like you can't just like ruin that for them.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you really can't. It's just, it's crazy. So
yeah, anyway. So there's only one person or organization to blame here, and that's simply Activision. Yeah, for not having an anti-cheat that works. That's the only person well, and I mean obviously the cheaters, but it's literally, it all comes down to Activision. But there's nothing they can do in this situation. They just don't have a good enough anti-cheat. Most video games don't, and they got screwed over by it, and it's not a good look for them. That's why they're going to. I don't see why they would talk about this publicly at all. Even like Call of Duty esports, even on the live streams, like the casters, they wouldn't gain anything from talking about it because what's done is done, and the team that cheated didn't qualify anyways. There's no reason for them to even mention it, really. So they won't say anything, I don't think. Yep,
exactly. So, I just got my request was not approved for my medical insurance. Okay.
For your bill?
Yeah.
What do you mean it wasn't approved?
It's I don't know. They don't want to cover it, basically.
Oh, you can get it covered. You just have to you'll just have to do 20 hours of phone calls over the next few weeks. You'll eventually get it covered. It'll be a complete disaster, but you'll be able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's going to be really fun. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, how much do you know? Because we'll have to set a donation goal for that total amount then, since we'll definitely have to pay that.
I'm going to owe a lot if it does get approved. If it doesn't, I'll just go bankrupt, I guess.
Yeah. What are you going to owe if it doesn't get approved?
Every single day in the hospital was not approved. 4 days. So that would be. I mean, that would be tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, literally.
Yeah,
like,
no. It'd be
It'd be actually tens of thousands, maybe even 100.
Yeah.
I had like a CAT scan. I had a X-ray of my chest. I had a colonoscopy. And then just inpatient stay. 2 bags of blood. Yeah, it would be a ton of money. All the blood tests. Yeah, it'd be a disaster. So, all right, well, maybe I'm going bankrupt. So, stay humble. No,
Yeah.
Mr. Lester, thank you for the 99-cent super chat. That will help for sure. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Buddy.
Did you check insurance for any of these? Did the place you went, was that even in their network or covered or whatever?
It was an emergency visit. So everyone at the hospital was like, your insurance has to cover it because this was a literal medical emergency.
Oh, is that how it works? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how insurance works.
Yeah.
Like if I got shot and I had medical insurance and they take me to a hospital that's like out of my network, the insurance has to cover it.
God,
that's
going to be not fun at all to do. Yeah.
Right now it says you can submit an appeal and there's only one little page. So
okay.
I'm just going to fill out this
honestly
one little page and just see what happens.
They just like to make it more work because some people just won't bother and they'll just won't get things covered when it comes to little stuff, and they'll just make more money. They literally just do it so that it's harder and then people are less likely to do it.
It's like the rebates. You know, people say it's like, oh, it's only $50 with a rebate, with a mail-in rebate. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody's going to mail it in. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then you get money back 3 years later.
Right. So anyway, sorry about that. Back to the show. Let's see. So yeah, it's not going to be replayed, nor should it be.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Activision needs to just have a working anti-cheat. Yeah. So I don't know what this next tweet.
Okay, so Almond, Skullface, and Noobs were picked up by Fnatic, who's a gaming organization. They've been real big in Counter-Strike, other games. Fnatic actually had teams all the way back in COD 4 when it was played on PC. There was a Euro team that was under Fnatic. They've been around a long time. It's like, to COD players, it's like Optic or FaZe, but a lot of COD players probably haven't heard of Fnatic before.
When were they picked up? Like a while
recently
ago?
So I think they were picked up for that recent Rebirth Resurgence tournament in Saudi Arabia. Pretty sure they went and were picked up by that, because that's when a bunch of orgs picked up random teams. Like Biffle Shifty Soko's picked up by some org called like the Falcon. I don't know, something I'd never heard of. But anyway, so this has kind of been a thing lately. Heading into World Series of Warzone, orgs want their name on stuff, so they've kind of been picking up trios. So yeah, so Fnatic picked them up. And Fnatic Jay Browning, I didn't look at his Twitter. I'm assuming he's like the CEO of Fnatic or something. But he said, Ben, Eddie, and Skull, as Fnatic players, have the organization's full support. We are taking the situation very seriously, not only because our trio is affected, but because every honest player in that lobby deserves to play under fair circumstances. A formal complaint has been lodged. So they've complained formally to Activision. Which is good. They should be doing this. Unfortunately, it's like, what is really going to happen from this? Probably nothing. Maybe it'll change the way things go in the future, like you were talking about earlier in the pre-show. Like maybe they sign some sort of contract where it's like, I don't know, if this happens, Activision's legal team gets to hire a hitman to come to your house and kill you and your whole family or something like that, or blow up your house, start a gas leak. You know, put a bomb in your car when you're leaving to go to McDonald's. Oh wait, you get it door dashed. So there are things they could do maybe. So this might change going forward how they would do some of these tournaments. Basically, like, you know, if they change things up, like the legal stuff. So this is good that they're filing this complaint, but I mean, it's not going to change anything that's happening right now. It's not gonna
change. Yeah, Skullface's team will not be playing at World Series of Warzone this year, period. Irrespective of what happens with this formal complaint. I like that there's a formal complaint being lodged.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Because one thing, I think like the best thing you could hope for, and this is a very outside chance also, is that you get some recompense from Activision. Like, hey, you owe my team money because you let a cheater into your official tournament and screwed my team out of exposure they would have gotten, which would have been turned into money by qualifying for the World Series of Warzone, or from potential earnings at the World Series of Warzone if we had gotten top 3 or whatever the prize pool is. So like they could, in theory, sue. That's not what he said. He said he filed a complaint, not a lawsuit. So I don't even think they're going to sue, to be clear. But if they did that, and maybe they could get something or settle. I don't know. I don't know if that would even be worth doing.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know.
Filing a complaint is something. A formal complaint is a good thing because companies take things like that seriously, like formal stuff like that. Because then, like, you have the Better Business Bureau maybe sniffing around you, and you want to be in good standing with them. I don't know if a complaint of this type and magnitude would affect Activision's standing with the Better Business Bureau, but it might. It wouldn't. It doesn't help for sure. And if a bunch of other orgs or teams filed a bunch of formal complaints at the same time about the same thing, that could be a big deal, and that could actually result in substantive changes being made to counteract cheaters being in official tournaments by Activision. Because think about it. What if every single team in this LCQ that did not qualify filed a formal complaint to Activision and the Better Business Bureau? I guarantee you, there would be a huge... Bobby Kotick would get hired back. He would write a public letter, and there would be broad sweeping changes to stop cheaters from being in official tournaments. It would definitely happen, because the Better Business Bureau takes things like that seriously. As far as I understand, I could be wrong about this. I don't think I am though, because it is an American company. So that's good that at least one complaint is being lodged. To what realistically is it going to mean anything? Probably not. But one thing they could do, Activision could do, like Pat was saying in the pre-show, is why don't they make all of these teams that register to compete sign a legal document that effectively says, hey, by the way, if you are caught cheating, or anyone on your team is caught cheating, you agree to pay a fine of 10,000 United States dollars to us. Sign the contract or you can't compete. There is no downside in my eyes to making every competitor sign that document. Because if you're not cheating, then obviously you're not going to ever have to pay the fine or worry about it. And if you are cheating, you're at least going to be more nervous about doing it. It might deter some people from trying. And if they get caught doing it, then they're out $10,000. Or if they can't pay it, they get liens put on their assets. They don't have any. Their parents' assets. They get their wages garnished. They don't make wages. Their Twitch royalties garnished from the bits they have from their mom. This would be good.
Yeah.
This would be a good thing. And I don't see a downside to making competitors do that. Because who would object to that? Who would be like, I'm not willing to sign this document and get fined?
Yeah, I wonder.
The very, very, very one counter argument I could potentially see is, I don't want to sign this because even though I don't cheat, it's possible that they think I'm cheating even though I'm not, and then they're going to try and make me pay a fine even though I wasn't cheating. That's like the only counter argument I could hear. But you could just put in the contract, if we find beyond a reasonable doubt, or we find like literal proof, such that it would be impossible for you to be falsely fined. I think that would be a good step in the right direction. I don't think it would solve the problem. I do think it would help though. But regardless, a formal complaint being lodged is cool. And we will keep you guys posted if that goes anywhere, which I don't expect it to, but to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the Better Business Bureau has no legal power, Chris, but it's still really important for businesses to be in good standing with them. They take that really seriously, even though it's not like a government entity. So it would be like, I can't think of an analogy, but businesses care about that as far as I understand. So anyway, moving on from that, here's another interesting tweet that kind of speaks to why these cheaters are so difficult to catch. So there are two reasons, which we've already touched on. We're going to talk about it a little more now. So why was Vexoh and all these other cheaters not caught sooner? Because it's pretty easy to hide from human eyes. Number one. And number two, the anti-cheat doesn't work, obviously. So we have an anti-cheat that is ineffective. That's the biggest reason cheaters do not get caught. But let's say we're watching Counter-Strike gameplay. Let's say Counter-Strike has no anti-cheat, but it has a lot of people watching the tournament and all the competitors. If someone starts aimbotting in Counter-Strike, even if the anti-cheat doesn't catch them, the spectators are going to catch them.
They're usually going to catch them, yeah.
If you are aimbotting in Counter-Strike, it's pretty obvious just from watching it. You don't even necessarily need an anti-cheat as long as you have eyeballs on competitors, because it's very easy to tell in Counter-Strike when someone is aiming themselves or if an aimbot is aiming for them. However, when you have, and this is not exclusive to Call of Duty, to be clear, this is for every game that is played with controller and aim assist, it becomes more difficult for a human watching the gameplay to be able to tell whether that person is cheating using an aimbot or if what instead they are seeing is merely aim assist. Now, again, the degree to which this is a problem depends on the game, but it is a problem for every game with aim assist, because aim assist is technically just an aimbot that is sanctioned and not that strong. That's what aim assist is. Yeah, so if you play basically a game like Apex Legends, you have aim assist on, you get some aim assistance. If you're playing Halo, you get a ton of aim assist, I've been told.
Yeah, you get Halo's got a lot of it.
Like an insane amount. And it looks like aimbot because it basically is. It's just not as strong as you can make an aimbot if you wanted to. And then Call of Duty is somewhere in the middle, probably. My understanding is that the aim assist in Call of Duty is stronger than Apex, not as strong as Halo. And those are like 3 popular controller games or whatever. And the reason that becomes important when we talk about cheaters is that there will be clips where you can't really tell if this person is using an aimbot or if that was just aim assist aiming or helping aim in a particular clip or video or something. And again, this is just not a problem at all if you don't have aim assist, because I mean, yeah, there's no confusion when there's pixel perfect tracking. Oh, that guy's cheating. But with aim assist, it's not that clear. So if your kernel level anti-cheat doesn't work, which Ricochet clearly doesn't, and then you have aim assist that is pretty good, like in Call of Duty, you can't really watch a clip and definitively say this guy is using an aimbot, because you don't know. You don't know if it was just aim assist or not. Now, to be clear, that's to say nothing about wall hacks. Wall hacks are just as easy to detect whether there's aim assist or not. So if someone's walling, you should be able to watch their gameplay enough and figure that out. And aim assist has no impact on detecting wall hackers. So I just want to make that clear. But when you're trying to detect aimbotters, aim assist complicates things.
Yeah.
There's been some discourse about this on the timeline. So Breadman, many of you know him, very popular Warzone player, competitor. Is he still in the World Series of Warzone?
Yeah, he's going to LAN.
Okay. So W Breadman, NA, by the way, he's a good player, so of course he's from NA and not EU, because EU sucks at Warzone. He is a very popular Warzone competitor. He is also a keyboard and mouse player. So that is part of the reason why he is particularly passionate about this subject. And he tweeted this yesterday, a day after this incident. Controllers should not be allowed in competitive Call of Duty. If we switch to 100% mouse and keyboard, there would be no issue finding out who is aimbotting or not. By the way, a lot of spelling errors in that paragraph that I'm not going to get into. So, but he's NA and he's good at Warzone, WNA. Not to mention dragging aim assist through buildings, mountains, water, cars, etc. No more wondering if it's aimbot or skill. So this is a pretty white hot take.
Well, he's trolling.
Spicy white
it's
hot
a troll.
take.
He's trolling.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
So he kind of tweeted this, and then everyone was like, Twitter was looking a little boring today or something. He's like, yeah, Twitter was pretty dry today. Breadman very rarely even talks about aim assist. He's probably one of the least toxic K-Bam players out there. Like, he hardly ever complains about it. He just alters his play style, so he basically doesn't have to fight people close range. That's why, like, he is a smart player and he wins a lot. Yeah. Because he puts himself in certain positions to basically
minimize that benefit
to be able to and this is why he also snipes a lot. Yeah
so exactly,
he knows what to do. Really good player, really, really smart player. By the way, I think there are like 5 K-Bam players going to LAN. I think it's 5.
Yeah.
But anyways,
there are fewer K-Bam players, period. To be fair,
far less. Yeah.
So because most people
so he's like mostly trolling, but it's funny because it is kind of crazy that some kid on controller, like I said, is using soft aim against some of the best players in the world, and I guess nobody noticed it.
No one had
Think about how
idea.
crazy. Just slow down. I'm not sitting here like complaining about aim assist right now. I'm just saying this is just like objectively insane that nobody notices that, right? Doesn't that kind of make you think something? It's a little wild. It's a little wild because if Huskers or Breadman is using soft aim, guess who is immediately calling them out the second they die? Any player in that lobby. It's so noticeable immediately in the kill cam if it's not a bugged kill cam, which half of them are. You notice immediately. So just saying, that's a little crazy to me. So it's like Breadman is trolling, but nobody noticed these things.
Yeah, true. Now, to be fair, Vexoh was almost certainly also wall hacking. Actually, 99% sure he was wall hacking. He never said he was.
Sure he was, yeah.
When he was talking about the cheats in the leaked group DM, he was talking about aimbot. But he also managed to land on the top team they wanted to kick out on top of them for 3 matches out of 5. So they probably were also walling and had everyone's names on screen.
The teams also kind of have drop spots. So they're just like, let's land on them because they know where they're going to drop. Everyone has their own little locations. So that could have been it too. But more than likely, he's probably walling, yeah. I would think.
Wall. If I'm going to aimbot, I'm walling too.
Walling, I feel like, is going to be more noticeable and more often get you banned, though. Because if it's literally on your screen, if Ricochet works the way people claim, where it takes a screenshot, like when you're reported and it takes a screenshot at various times, it's way more likely to pick up a wall hack than soft aim. Because soft aim, I'm pretty sure, can be working with nothing visible on your screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a chance. Because hey, if he's wall hacking and can see everybody and they still don't qualify, never play a video game again. Like that's embarrassing. That's so embarrassing, man.
That's a massive skill issue.
That's such a skill issue. You're 20.
That's a skill catastrophe.
You graduated 2.5 years ago. Get any job. You've never worked before. You've won $200 total in wagers in the last 3 years. Do something.
That's one of my favorite metas on Twitter right now, by the way, is the just put the fries in the bag, bro. Replies.
There were a lot of Warzone players saying that to him. Yeah.
Great meta that Twitter's on right now. Just put the fries in the bag.
Didn't he say he was streaming with walls on? I don't know. Did he, Jake? Did he say that in the Z-Laner clip? Or something?
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. He was cheating. He probably was walling, whatever.
He probably was walling. Maybe he wasn't. But I'm just saying, to be fair, that Vexoh was probably also walling. So it's not like him being on controller is the only reason he didn't get. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, so yeah. I just want to give to be very clear on this, my take on this. So Breadman was kind of tongue-in-cheek saying, controllers shouldn't be allowed in competitive COD. If we switch to 100% mouse and key, there'd be no issue finding out who's aimbotting or not. Is it true that there would be no issue finding out who's aimbotting if it was KBAM only? Yes, of course it is, for the reasons I just talked about a lot. Does that mean controller should not be allowed in competitive Call of Duty? Of course not, obviously. I don't think Breadman means that either. Controller should absolutely be allowed in competitive Call of Duty. There's no way around it. Most people play on controller. Most people want to watch people who are playing on controller. It is a controller game, I would say. People will erroneously say COD has always been a controller game. That's not true. It was KBAM only for COD 1 and 2 and maybe 3. Tanner can correct me on that, but at least COD 2. It was originally a KBAM game, but that doesn't matter. That was 40 years ago. So like now it is a controller game. It needs to be a competitive on controller. That's what it needs to be. That's what it will be. That's what it should be, in my opinion. Despite the fact that I'm primarily a KBAM player, I would say that. But again, there is a point here, which is that we're at a level of aim assist where it is difficult to tell if someone's aimbotting and distinguish it from the aim assist in certain scenarios. Not every kill doesn't kill for you. You still have to be good. All of those caveats, don't get mad. But that's some of the discourse, so we wanted to talk about it. And then, you know, we have to show you this in light of that statement.
Oh, no.
Here is an example of what we are talking about.
Oh no, we're doing a show.
So we're pulling up a video for you. This is from Hexsmith, and it is a tweet, and it is a clip of him getting a kill in MW3 multiplayer on Shipment. He's using a controller with aim assist on. He has a hand cam, so you can see what his thumbs are doing and what his character on screen is doing simultaneously. We're going to play the clip for you now, and then I'm going to describe to you what just happened in case you happen to be listening only and not watching.
Okay.
So let's just run this clip. Tell me when this is done.
All right, I'm going to play it right now. I got audio on here too for you guys. Yeah, so that sound is him killing someone out showing the slow-mo. There's no there's no thumb on that right stick, which is the one you aim with. But he's aiming. Yeah.
So we can, I don't care to watch the second clip. We can if we want.
Yeah, it was
but
mostly
that
the first one.
That one's a perfect example. And if you could just do a freeze frame at 10 seconds for me.
Sure, I'll do a little freeze frame for you, buddy.
And just leave that on screen. Just leave that on screen while I describe what we just listened to. So the clip is him on Shipment. He is standing next to a box and he's aiming down sight, waiting for someone to cross in front of him from the lane that he's looking at. And again, there is a camera on his controller that is on his hands that are holding his controller. His right thumb is a solid 1 inch away from his right stick. Your right stick, by the way, is the stick you aim with. It's the one you move your reticle with. Okay. It is literally not only not touching, it's not grazing, it's not hovering. There's no magnetic pull. It is far away from his stick. It's not like lifted off of the stick. You can see the whole stick. His right thumb is over his circle button on his PS4 controller. While he's doing that, a guy jumps the corner and he pulls down his right trigger without touching his right thumbstick, and his character's reticle perfectly tracks the guy who is jumping in front of him the entire time, and he kills him literally without moving his right stick or his left stick. His left hand is on his stick, but I don't think he moves his character.
Well,
I think he literally just stands there and holds right stick or right trigger down.
No, he's getting rotational, but the point of it is he's getting rotational by moving his left stick, which is for moving. That's what he's showing, is that how strong you can pull rotational. He's moving it quite a bit. He has it jammed against the wall, but he's not moving left because there's a barrier there because he's up against the C-can. So that's what he's showing, is that how strong left stick rotational aim assist is that you just move your character in any direction, and it will still track fairly well without using your actual aiming stick. That's what he's showing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this way, if he held down 0 sticks there, or either analog stick, I'm not sure you would get any aim assist pull at all. I think you have to be moving at least the left stick. Yeah.
Yeah, to engage the rotational. But still, you don't have to be moving your right stick literally at all. He's not even touching his. And the right stick is what controls your aim. So just to be clear, I know that many of you are very sick of us talking about this, but sometimes it comes up. This has 1 million views on Twitter, and it's germane to the topic today, so we are going to talk about it. When Tanner or me or Metaphor or Enders or True, the Gaming Definition or Breadman or Huskers complain about aim assist, maybe it's unfair, maybe you're sick of hearing it, maybe you feel like it takes away from your own accomplishments when you play on controller, even though it doesn't, and no one's saying that. But this is what we're talking about when we get frustrated with aim assist. He literally did not have to aim for this kill. Now, obviously, this is like a showcase example scenario where he's just trying to like demonstrate how strong you can manipulate aim assist by engaging that rotational. But how do you distinguish whether or not that is aimbot? I mean, the guy killed someone who was moving without aiming himself, even though he's not cheating. Imagine if you saw this and instead it was a mouse cam and the guy didn't have his hand on his mouse. You would be like, oh, he's cheating, obviously. His aim moved without him doing it. That's cheating. That's aimbotting. But you can't tell with controller because in some scenarios you can't tell with controller because, again, of aim assist. Now, what is the overall point of all of this discussion? I don't really know if there is one. It just is that if I had to make a point or a suggestion, I would say let's tone down the rotational such that you actually have to do some right stick input for your reticle to move. That would help a little bit in detecting people aimbotting. Would it do enough? No, but it would do something. But
or just
overall, I mean, I'm not advocating. I don't think anyone is seriously advocating for controllers to be removed from competitive COD, nor do I think anyone is seriously advocating for like the removal of aim assist. Those things are insane. I don't feel that way. And I think this is all kind of beside the point. It's just interesting and kind of funny to talk about. But I think it's all beside the point because I think the real point is we need to get Ricochet to work. We just have to. That's the big, that's ultimately the problem. The problem is not ultimately aim assist, at least when it comes to cheating. The problem is not cheaters like Vexoh or whoever. There are always going to be bad actors. You can blame the bad actors, but if you have a system that's exploitable, people are going to exploit it. There's always going to be bad actors. So it's kind of a waste of time to get mad at people for cheating if it's this easy to cheat. The problem, the blame, 100% of it, all of it, lies at the 99% of it, lies at the feet of Activision. 1% lies at the feet of the cheaters. Because it doesn't matter. There are always going to be cheaters if you can cheat. Activision needs to get its shit together. Figure it out, sniff my kernels, invade my privacy, read my metadata, do whatever. Contract the NSA for help. Do something.
That'd be a good idea.
They're really good at invading privacy. Do that so that I can't cheat in your game. It's that simple. And once again, if there's a single game in existence that is way better at detecting cheaters than Call of Duty is, then Call of Duty has no excuse because Call of Duty has virtually limitless resources. Therefore, if Valorant can have a really good, not perfect, but really good anti-cheat, there's no excuse for Activision to not be able to also have one. Because it's not like Activision is lacking in resources. It's just not true. So if Valorant can figure it out, Activision can too. Period. And they haven't. And that is ultimately why all of this has transpired. And it's a real shame for legitimate players. And it's a real shame also for us on the sidelines, spectators, fans of Call of Duty. It's embarrassing to say you play Call of Duty.
It really is. It's embarrassing to tell people.
To say you like enjoy watching the World Series of Warzone. It's embarrassing to have a favorite team because it's because of things like this and other things, bugs, stupid gameplay features, reconnect features, glitches, portable decontamination stations, 20 of them in a backpack. These things make it embarrassing as a player to just admit to, you know, it's all of this is Activision's fault.
Yeah.
Ultimately, all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little outrageous, that clip, that he gets that much drag without doing anything. And that's kind of always been, people like to say like, oh, like, all you guys just want aim assist like removed. It's no, most people, nobody level-headed has ever held that opinion, because like somebody told that to like Metaphor on Twitter. He's like, dude, that's not a real opinion. Nobody genuinely thinks you don't need it. Like, you have to have it. It's way too hard without it. But like, you can want it nerfed and then, you know, not think that every single person just wants it removed entirely. So like Metaphors, I think, always had the best suggestion, which is literally add a delay to the amount of time it will, or how long it'll start tracking if they do no right stick input. So like that same clip, maybe they would have started getting some drag, but it would have been a delay of X amount of milliseconds before they get that, because it shouldn't be just immediately before a human can react to that. That's always been the thing. That's easily the best suggestion for it, because that keeps really good players still really, really good, and that start making the average and bad players who don't deserve all these kills that they're getting worse, which they should be worse at the game. Yeah. They shouldn't be getting those kills. But anyways, pretty interesting that people don't notice these things, because yeah, a really good controller player using aim assist, it's hard to tell they're cheating. You like can't.
Right.
So yeah, we just have some other kind of little random clips to a couple more random clips to end here. This one was kind of funny. So Aiden tweeted this. It says, Almond's controller just disconnected during the last game of Last Chance qualifiers when they need a big game to qualify. This sucks, man. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to throw this up on the big screen here. Here we go. It's Almond. They are on the map by Fire Station. Here we go. He's getting shot at. He has one teammate dead. He's plating up in cover. Starts moving. And he's spinning. And he's spinning in circles. And he immediately dies. Best part of this?
The one sponsorship logo on his screen, by
best
the way.
part of this, as his controller disconnects mid-game, yeah, the one thing on his screen besides his cam is just the word scuff, because he has a scuff partnership. That is hilarious. Ultimately, I don't know what it is. It could just be a USB port, but it's just funny because he has the big scuff sponsorship as he's twirling around in circles because his little tiny controller disconnected.
He did a Borpa spin, yeah.
I mean, how...
He would have survived there, too. Easily.
Exactly. And look at how many players are left here. They're at 111 players. I mean, this is... who did he die to, actually? Was this when they died to the cheater?
That's hilarious.
I think it was. Wasn't it? Because didn't they kill them off rip in the last game? Pull up that other image and look.
It says attack.
I think it was Av. It was the other guy.
Twitter resolution is so bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was saying pull up the other one. Yeah, I think the cheater killed him. Okay, I'll look. Yeah, that was Av, the guy who's cheating. So he actually probably wouldn't have gotten away anyways because the guy was cheating.
He would have gotten away and then died 30 seconds later.
I just thought that was hilarious. You just spinning in circles.
Yeah. So that was one kind of just unfortunate but funny thing that was not Activision's fault. And then there's one more clip that is, again, Activision's fault. So in addition to not having a working anti-cheat, we've talked about this before. This is just the latest iteration of bugs ruining people's experience in an official tournament, and they are bugs that should not exist.
Yeah.
It's a 2-minute clip.
I'm already playing it. I'm just going to talk about it. Yeah. So I'm playing it. So basically, he's making some plays. It's a water ending. There are like 30 people left, but it's like the last. It's 8th zone, because it's the World Series of Warzone, so there are that many players left. So he's going crazy, getting a bunch of kills in the water, self-reviving, blah, blah.
This is Skinner, by the way.
His teammates both die, yeah. This is, yeah. So this all happens. He gets up on land. Yeah, let me just get to that point. So he's picking up smokes on the ground, smoking everywhere. He gets up on land. He's going to start mantling up these rocks here. He's just throwing smokes constantly because there are now 13 players left, 9 teams in the final circle. So the very last circle. So he runs up. He's using his durable gas mask and he sees, oh, look it, a munitions box. He drops it and he can't grab anything out of it. He's looking for smokes so badly. He has 0 smokes. He needs to get back in the water. He throws the munitions box in the rock. Guess what's been bugged since Al Mazrah? Throwing munitions boxes on rocks, you can't grab them. So he throws it down. He's just mashing his controller. He's trying to grab that smoke grenade. He can't do it. It doesn't work. Could he have made another play? There was another muni behind him, yes, but it's the World Series of Warzone. You're trying to move so fast, you don't have time to do these things. He has to look at the final zone. He has to look at players. So he's like, all right, can't grab anything from there. So he starts shooting somebody else, gets another down and a full across the water. He's one shot, jumps into the water, gets another kill underwater, and then he immediately gets laced to somebody else underwater. And that entire scenario could go totally different direction had he been able to use that munitions box there and use either his C4 or his smoke grenades. He could have made a totally different play. He probably wouldn't have jumped in the water like that, but he had really no choice, and he had to just make that play. So I just thought that was funny. Ultimately, like, would he have won the game, or did it drastically change the way it ended? Not really, but it's funny because he's the one that tweeted this, and he was like, this could have ended entirely different had I picked up the PDS, my field upgrade actually work, or blah, blah. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Warzone! Yeah.
And that is, and once again,
and then he
that's just the
fuck,
latest.
And that was funny.
Yeah, it's just the latest iteration of, game-breaking bugs that just have no excuse. It's not like it even glitched into the rock. Like, that happens to me sometimes, which also shouldn't happen, but it looked like it should be interactable. And
it was right on top of the rock, and he just couldn't grab it. Yeah, so that was funny. That was real
classic.
Funny.
And what was the other bug was like Ghost Vest not working or something. Like, just figure it out. This is why this and no anti-cheat are why some of the reasons why World Series of Wars and a complete lack of communication are some of the reasons why the World Series of Warzone and competitive COD, especially competitive Warzone, are a complete and utter joke.
Yeah, other people in the gaming world do not think highly of Call of Duty and Warzone. Yeah.
And just real quick, jumping back to the aim assist thing, like Tanner did mention, like we've also mentioned before, is that another reason that you should probably require some input on the right stick to get any aim assist at all is to the benefit of good controller players. They should want that, so that they don't lose gunfights to people worse than them on controller. Because most gunfights are controller versus controller, and having really strong aim assist devalues a good controller player with good aim, their skill, against worse controller players with worse aim. You should want less aim assist probably if you're good on controller, because then you'll win more gunfights and you won't get cheesed by someone who's just holding an angle and holding their left stick walking into the wall, like the clip we saw. That's not fun to die to, whether you're on controller or not. Dying to that isn't fun or fair. It should require some input, and then you can skill gap people more easily. You should want a skill gap, even if you're not on KBAM at all. And like we've seen, I saw a clip recently, by the way, of Jowo, who does this every once in a while, because every time he does, there are like cool Twitter clips of it. He will post them sometimes. Sometimes his fans will post them, and they'll show up on my timeline and get a lot of traction. He plays without aim assist for like fun, like pretty often.
And he's really good.
And he's really good, yeah. Now, that's not to say aim assist should be removed just because Jowo can do it. That's not what I'm saying at all. There needs to be some aim assist, but it is possible to play totally without it. How much better would Jowo do if aim assist was turned down a little bit? A lot better. He would die a lot less often to, cheese. So, like, people like him would want that too. So, anyways. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, moral of the story, Activision sucks. Call of Duty sucks. Blizzard sucks.
Really?
Get better. And again, we have had zero communication in 2 days so far from Activision on this situation. They've said absolutely nothing about it. They have not communicated. They've not apologized. They have not said the cheating players have had their accounts banned. They have not said what steps they will take moving forward to prevent this. Nothing. The question now for me, the most interesting question, which I don't know the answer to, but I think I do, is will they say anything about this? What do you think?
No, probably not.
I agree. I don't think they. I think they are very happy that they happened to not qualify anyway.
Oh yeah.
So that they can just pretend it didn't happen. After all, they haven't told us when or where World Series Warzone is happening yet. So they love not talking.
Yeah, got no idea.
So any excuse to not talk, they are probably thrilled about. So, yeah, I don't think they'll say anything about it, and that's criminal. And I wish more people were upset about it, because we only saw like one tweet about someone saying, hey, is Activision going to make a statement? I saw one tweet where someone was like, there was no apology today for this event. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. One of the
insane.
big streamers said that, like, they were like, I can't believe the first thing out of their mouths today at the start of the EU LCQ was not like, we're sorry for what happened yesterday, or some sort of statement on it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like, I didn't expect that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so, all right, boys and girls, that is it. We hope you enjoyed. This was a fun episode to do. It's just a shame that it's just a tragic topic. And unfortunately, there's virtually no silver lining here. Because again, like we just said, realistically, I don't expect them to say anything about it. I don't expect them to do anything about it. I don't expect it to change. I don't expect there to be fewer cheaters going into the event. I don't expect anyone else to even get exposed. It's all bad. It's just bad. The only silver lining, I guess, is that people are more angry with Activision and how bad their anti-cheat is now. So when people continue to get caught over and over again through the months, through the years, because it probably won't happen again for this event, World Series of Warzone, maybe these grievances will eventually hit a critical mass. They'll stack up so much that enough big streamers tweet about it and then force Activision's hand. So this might be one little, Jenga block being pulled out of the tower, but it's not toppling anytime soon. So until then, we will do our part and spotlight it and make fun of them, as they deserve to be made fun of. But don't expect any broad sweeping changes from this at all, especially because they didn't qualify. If they did, my position would be a lot different. That would put them in a genuinely awkward position, and that would be a good thing. But they unfortunately just got lucky that the cheating team is dog shit. They don't have to say or do anything, and they probably won't. So, Resurgence POI tier list will be happening this month on a date at a time. You have to be a patron, but you can be a patron of any tier to participate. It is going to be fun and exciting. We're going to do customs. We're going to have fun. No one will be cheating, probably. So that'll be cool too. Although I can't promise you there won't be bugs. So in fact, there will be. And we need 35 people to be able to start the lobby. So if you're a patron, we need you. Please come. It'll be fun. Make sure your Discord account is linked to your Patreon account. Those have to be linked for you to participate. You have plenty of time. It's very easy. There's a guide in Discord on how to do it. So join the Discord, join the Patreon, any tier, and you can come mag dump Tanner. And then also, and the schedule, the date for that is in the Discord as well. You can go to the announcements channel, or you can go to the events tab. And then, just as a reminder, our last Patreon topic was a behind the scenes. It was like 2 hours long. We talked about the usual stuff, and then my hospital visit, which I'm going to have to deal with right now. So if you want to hear more about that, you could do that as well. We've gotten some good feedback on that also. And then the Resurgence POI tier list, we will be doing that at a time. That's kind of always going to be relevant. So probably start it next Saturday. Maybe we will keep you guys posted. I forget when Tanner's out of town, but regardless, it'll be coming eventually. And we appreciate your guys' patience. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Stay humble.
Stay humble.